a lot of people think, oh, that doesn't affect me. That's not my child. That's who, it affects us all. When you look at the big scope of it, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, a certain set of kids misbehave or have behavior problems, it's an outlook on the whole city or whole parish.
The community partnerships that we have here at Juvenile Court and Juvenile Services are essential to the work. Whether we are talking about volunteer organizations that are mentor groups that are designed to help supplement the needs of families, whether we're talking about mental health agencies and the other volunteer organizations that come in to make up the village. Because if, again, the idea is to rehabilitate children and strengthen families for participation in broader society, it's going to take society to accomplish that goal.
I grew up in Caddo and I raised 2 kids in Caddo, and when you have money, there's fantastic things to do in Shreveport. I mean, my kids had first-class coaching in soccer. My son got to go to nationals in golf. He was able to play at 265 because of the David Thomas Foundation. There's so much going on for kids if you've got money and you can afford the entry fee, and I've got all 4 grandparents in town that help them, drive the kids all over town. The kids that I work with have none of that.
I don't think that we can really have a discussion about youth and crime without speaking to youth. When I was growing up, I didn't have these worries that they have right now. There wasn't social media. There wasn't the need to know everything right now. There wasn't the access of information. Everybody didn't have cars. You have access to everything right now, and sometimes that can be a detriment to our young people. But also, at the same time that we have those things, how many of our young people are not receiving just the basic needs?
Unfortunately, a lot of our students come from poverty areas, high poverty areas, and that's where a lot of the violence is taking place. And so our students, although they may have no direct involvement in violence, they may live in a community where they're hearing gunshots at night.
I often think about what is the makeup there? What was this individual, what was this family plagued with? What was the home structure? Did we miss something here? Is it a grandmother that may be raising this child? Is it a grandfather? Is the mother absent? Is the father absent? Just a number of things.
Can you imagine being an 8-year-old child trying to go to sleep at night when you hear gun violence? How about just being an adult trying to hear that? So I think a lot of what we don't understand is our children come to school with a lot going on in their neighborhoods and their communities.
Because so many times people like to label and say, oh, they come from a single parent home, so they're not going to turn out well. Well, I can tell you that's wrong. My mother was a single parent and my sister is a doctor, and it was about the investment and love, and my daddy was very present in our lives. And so we have to stop stigmatizing, but we also have to understand that there may be a different level of support that we need to provide to our communities and resources that need to be applicable at all times.
We lack enough, and we gotta have places or things for these young kids to do. And in a nutshell, it is an issue.
I think some of the things that we're doing in Bossier is that we're trying to identify the problem, and I think that collectively we've been able to do that. And the plan is to work collaboratively with other agencies in order to not duplicate resources, but to maximize the resources that we do have.
Hopefully at the parish level, I'll be able to bring together the police and the sheriff and the DA and the public defender and the school system and the parish commission and the city council, the mayor's office, all of that together to try to create free opportunities for kids.
At the end of the day, our principal responsibility as officers of the court, as participants in this system, is public safety. And so in fulfillment of that trust, we understand that the incarceration part of it is only one aspect of it.
They need mentors, they need the adults that are coaches and counselors and teachers to have more positive influences. So really it's that collaboration. If I can bring those groups together to try to create healthier recreational opportunities and programs for kids that can't afford it otherwise.
Most of our children do not come from bad homes. I do want to put that out there. I think people assume sometimes that if you're in poverty, you come from bad homes. No, they come from homes where parents are working their best they can to take care of their kids and do best for their kids. They want their kids to be successful, but they can't control the environment they live in, and they can't control what's going on in their neighborhoods. And so I think it's really important to try to understand that. We believe every student can benefit from communities and schools. And that can be something from simple as uniforms, hygiene products, food, or maybe some type of program that will encourage a student to get to school on time, come to school, or have really good behavior.
Showing up for them when they have no one to show up for them, helping them to succeed academically. If they're not here at school, I'll get the SRO here on campus. I'll call, make contact with the parent. I'll call them, hey, we're coming to get you because you say you don't have a way to school. I'll go get them the SRO, assist me, we'll put them in the car. They'll come here, I don't have a uniform, I'll provide them with the uniform. Oh, I need toiletries, I can't wash my face at home, or I can't brush my teeth. We have that here for you. Everything that you need is here in school. I just need you to show up and learn.
And so what we really want to do is identify those students who are really struggling as early as possible, set goals with those students to turn those struggling areas around.
A lot of our children tend to struggle with attendance and behavior, so that typically keeps them away from school.
There is actually very much a pattern you can see for children from early childhood through delinquency and then in fact into adult criminal behavior.
We also know if a student is not coming to school, or if they're always being put out of the class because they're struggling with their behavior, we know their academics are going to be poor. So we feel like if we can really focus on getting a student to school and getting their behavior turned around, the academic success will hopefully come.
I was once that child. That's what I honestly identify with. I was that student that I come to school, I'll act out. My parents were present, but I also needed someone at school. I needed to know that someone cared.
For children that we do get back on the right path, for the ones where we are successful, I can identify one or two what I call a pro-social adult. It's a functional adult on that kid's side.
But once I found that person that I knew cared about me on campus, the ball game, it completely changed. It's important to identify those kids simply because they need the help. Identifying them makes them feel loved, it makes them feel welcome, and it lets them know that someone here on campus cares. Coming to school is probably the best thing or the only thing that some children have throughout their day, so why not make it the best? Because how we were raised back then is completely different from how the kids are being raised today. Things evolve, things change, whether it's at home, school system, everything is always changing. So we have to learn to adapt to what's in front of us.
The major change in the last, I'd say 10, 15 years, social media.
Technology is far more advanced than it was back then. I think it becomes an issue of, I have to present myself to the world in this manner so I can feel accepted, when just be yourself.
I was a probation officer before social media, before computers, before all the technology that we have now. So I've really been able to observe the influence that social media has had on our young people, and it is such a negative influence.
These are kids that are constantly feel like their behavior is being watched, filmed, and judged.
Social media is kicking our kids' butts. I wish the satellite just fall out the sky, and it does not work, but we have to adjust as adults. We have to adjust, and we have to show them, hey, I'm equipped as you. I have a social media. I don't have to do all of that. Just show them what it looks like, because they don't know.
Things that these children post, that they're putting on social media, it causes problems. And one girl may post that she's now with the boyfriend of another girl, and of course they're going to fight. That's going to start a fight. So it's a really bad influence for our young people.
They're really using social media to promote what actions they've been committing or doing. We see a lot of that. That's one of the main pieces of the puzzle that we have to kind of manipulate through to kind of see what's going on. They don't mind posting on social media their actions and things of that nature.
It can cause a lot of problems for the young people in the community at large, not just the young people that we work with. By monitoring social media, we can see what they're posting and how they're posting, and we can see if our kids on probation are posting pictures of weapons or drugs or large amounts of money, or if they're posting on social media when they're supposed to be at home, when they have a curfew, and they're violating their probation, and we can use that information to bring them back to court.
They don't know who they are. They're still trying to figure it out, because they want the world to accept them, but they're not accepting themselves for who they genuinely are. Social media is killing it. I have to look like this. I have to be this. I have to act like this, and you don't. I think a lot of people just misunderstand this generation. They're very misunderstood, though I feel like there could be more guidance from parents or teachers or pastors in the community, or just more community foundations. I think if they knew that these kids really wanted to get away from this type of environment instead of staying in it, I think we'll have more volunteers, we'll have more mentors, and we'll definitely see things turn around in communities such as this.
If we do a better job of understanding where our kids are coming from and really understanding poverty, I think it could also help resolve a lot of the issues. But our students are coming to school with a lot, and that's what we want to be. That's what I think communities and schools offers to our students. We can be a cheerleader, we can be a mom, we can be that a little bit harsher grandmother figure. We can be a counselor, we can be a mentor, keep going down the list.
We have some gems here at Booker T. Washington High School. They are phenomenal. It's just navigating them through how to deal with certain things. I think since we're in this neighborhood, people typically, oh, those kids are bad, all they want to do is fight, and that's not the case. We have kids here who really want the help.
And so part of enhancing public safety is involving the partner companies and the volunteer organizations that come in here with that enthusiasm. Hey, we just want to help kids, and we got this program, because you're only going to be on probation for so long. At some point, you're going to get off of probation. Have we put you with people in the community with resources to, again, that handoff is important, so that they're able to really chart a path forward even when they're outside the purview of our system.